Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the regular December meeting of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners. I'd like to begin this meeting by asking Mr. Thomas if you would lead us in the invocation. Mr. Drew Davis, if you would lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Father God, we thank you. Thank you for being God Almighty, having no power in your hand. We thank you for this meeting. We thank you for those that are here. Father, we ask you to be in this meeting, that we do everything pleasing in your sight, decent and in order. Father, we ask you to bless those that are finding in harm's way, that we can exercise this right now, Father. We know this turmoil all over this nation and all over the country. We just thank you for Wayne County. We ask that you continue to bless our board, bless our county, bless our citizens, and continue to move us forward. We pray in your Son, Jesus Christ.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. We have no modifications to the agenda. Approval of the minutes. I trust you've all had a chance to read over the minutes of the last meeting. Okay. I'll second. Thank you.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes. Make a motion to approve. I'll second. Motion second.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes. Presentations and announcements, we have none. Citizens concerns, none on the agenda. Public meetings, none. Consent agenda, none. Old business, none. New business. First item is set qualifying fees for commissioners and school board.
Mr. Chairman, qualifying fees currently for commissioners is $54, as you're aware, and then school board is $100. It's up to y'all to change that and keep it the same.
I make a motion, we leave it the same.
I second.
Have a motion second.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Item B, under new business, consider and approve the drug and alcohol policy for Wayne County Transit.
Mr. Chairman, the commissioners, this is a policy set down basically from the state for us to be able to operate transit vehicles and provide transit in operation.
Is it doing this re-upping of that policy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion with
I
that.
second, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion to second, any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes. Item C, renew the agreement to allow DNR to maintain the dock at Upper County Road.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a 25-year lease agreement, basically for the Upper County Landing, and it deals with all our landings, or most of them anyway. It allows the DNR to do repairs and maintain the actual ramp. So we lease that ramp to the DNR so that we can maintain it. So,
Again, this is just a re-upping of an existing
I
agreement.
suggest we approve that.
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
I'll make a second. I'll say that. All right. Discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Item D is consider and approve the TANs bid.
Mr. Chairman, we went out to bids on $3 million worth of TANs. As you know, we were at 4.5 in the past this year. We reduced it down. We think that we'll continue to progress down on this thing, but we're suggesting that again, Truist or BB&T, not Truist, is awarded the TAM bid at 0.8295 rate. The second closest was Prime South at 0.9, and then First Southern actually first time they bid, they were considerably higher. And I'm sure you bid if you like, but I say we continue on with Truist, as we bid to them as a revolving loan. We have to borrow $50,000 as required by the IRS, but beyond that, we'll borrow only as needed.
I'll make a motion to continue with it.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
All right, item E on the agenda is consider approving the language access plan for the community block grant.
Mr. Chairman, this is a part of the awarded $750,000 grant over there with senior citizen centers. We get the money from DCA, and we have to buy by them. See the problem with it. It's hard to do. We've done this before. There's no major issue with it.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the language of the plan.
Second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires.
Yes. Item F is consider approving the changing of the January meeting, which falls on a holiday, I believe, Mr. Jefferson.
It does. It's January 3rd. The first is a normal holiday, but it falls on Saturday, so we're taking the Monday of that holiday.
What do you suggest?
You know, the session begins on the 10th, which is Monday, state. You know, it's up to y'all, but, any changes need to be done over there. If you're available that week, commissioners, okay, I just assume do it that week. And if I may add, or ask, if we change the meeting from that one at least to 6 o'clock versus 7 o'clock. I mean, if that's amenable to y'all.
What do you guys look like that week? Yet? Still looking.
So what day are we looking at? We're gonna do it on Tuesday?
I don't think-
I'd rather.
Does the Board of Education have a meeting on Tuesday of that week, you know? Or the city? I'd rather not conflict with the city meetings if we can help it.
Thursday. If I'd like to get it as quick as possible for,
I agree.
January the 6th,
It'll be January 6th.
yes.
At 6 o'clock? Is that fair? Good?
Yeah, I like the 6 o'clock hour.
That's it.
All right, I will make a motion that we change January meeting to January 7th,
No, sir.
6th, January 6th at 6 p.m.
6 o'clock.
Do we want to make that a monthly meeting to number 6?
I'd like to address that. If we don't have to address it under this one, we can do a separate motion for that. But, let's do that. Let's address it under a different item.
Okay.
We can address it next month, or right now. I'm good.
Let's put it on the agenda for that January.
That's
meeting
good.
to change it, okay? All right, so I have a motion to move that meeting date. Second.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
please second, Commissioner Thomas,
Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires.
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary.
Yes.
All right, if you will, go ahead and put on the agenda for that January meeting that we address changing the meeting time from 7 to 6.
Yes, sir.
Okay, item G, consider approving 2022 budgets, general fund SPOS 4 and the GEO bonds. Mr. Jeff?
Mr. Chairman, as communicated to y'all in the regular, in the work session this afternoon, we are asking for, 26,798,979. I don't have my notes with me because I gave it to the press, but,
We
borrow back. I can borrow back, I'll be great. You know, in general over here, you know, please find the SPOS 4, as well as the general fund, the GEO bond, for your consideration and RFP fund. Also, you know, the budget's up significantly, but it's largely because of directives and needs in the county. And, you know, we've got a 24-hour crew of EMS. We increased the pay of many of well-deserved employees. You know, we have a fire issue we've got to take care of in the county. We have needs of different departments, the courts. We have an election cycle and a board coming through. So all these things are adding up. The revenues are aggressively estimated, but I'm confident in them. I've estimated property tax at 96%. I will add, their tax commissioner estimates, gives me an estimate of 9%. So, you know, she's very conservative, and we talked through all that, and you know, just you don't know. So I feel good about it. I feel good that it'll continue on with sales and cash reserves and for unexpected and progressive down with economic development. So with that, I'd ask for.
Make a motion to approve this budget.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I know this budget is a little over $2 million over what we had last year. And, I was speaking on, telling everybody that last year, y'all said we were not over on our budget, $3.5 million, which would be 2020. And looks like we're projecting the same thing for 2021. If that was not the case, how can we raise the budget $2 million?
Commissioner, I'm not.
I'm just asking.
We raised the budget $2 million because we looked at every line item and every budget, every function, and we added it up. By directives of this board, they had a 24-hour crew to increase the pay of paramedics, to increase the pay of the deputies, the jailers, and the dispatchers. Other people got raises as well throughout the county, and there's a merit increase in that aspect of it. There's a fire estimated. Whatever direction we go, it's going to cost us about the same amount of money right now.
And I understand, we agreed to the increases.
And if you add all those things up that I laid out in the explanation, you get about $2 million. So the election, the criminal justice with the deputies, the emergency services, the road department, and the needs of the road department and shop, the public health. You know, not a whole lot, but it's still, those buildings need help. You can't sit there and ignore it. If the air conditioner goes out, the health department and all those agencies need air conditioning to work, and it's money, and they haven't been repaired in a while. Actually, recreation does, and then economic development. You know, if we don't have that engine fire, then revenue ain't coming in.
I'm just saying, if we were not over $3.5 million, we couldn't go up $2 million on the budget. Without going up on tax.
I don't follow your math. I don't follow your math there.
I don't either. I understand what you're talking about.
But point well taken and noted. I still don't follow your math.
Okay.
When we have the audit report, you'll
Number
see it.
one is that you were proponents in this $2 million. You pushed for the deputies to have a raise, and we were all for that. You pushed for the ambulance, for the EMS guys to in the trucks and everything. That's part of that. Right now alone is a little about $1 million, or maybe a little bit over. You were there when the city said that they can't roll out the county because the ISO will fall. That's $300,000. You were there. So I don't understand where you come from.
Maybe I'm not clear. I'm not
Well,
disputing. Hold on, let me explain. I'm not disputing the $2 million. I'm just saying, if we have not been collecting at least $2 million or more, we would have to go up on the taxes. And we did not go up on the taxes this year. So apparently the money was there.
So
And we have not gone through the auditors. I don't know, when are we supposed to get the
Is,
audit
the
report
audit
back?
just got approved about a couple of weeks ago,
Yes.
and I'm waiting on the books coming from the auditors. And
No,
I'll
this-
pass them out.
Is that a part of the money you talking about, is that a part of that 14 million you talked about on the radio that we had, we didn't
The 14 million?
have?
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Earlier in the year, you said we had about 14 million when you were on the radio.
Yeah, that's the amount, if you add 3.5 million for each year that we went up on the taxes. You went up 5 mils
Don't worry about
in
it.
2019.
You still don't understand the budget, do you?
Apparently you don't,
Oh, I do.
because if
All right,
you
all right,
add
guys.
3.5 million each year,
That's not even what y'all portrayed on radio, but we won't get into that. You know, what y'all did was you took all the funds we have, whether they're restricted or non-restricted, added them all up and said we got this
we're not
million
even
funds.
talking about that. We're talking about the 3.5 million we were over last year. We'll see it when the audit report comes out, because they'll show it.
We'll see in the audit report that apparently you've already seen and we haven't.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second.
Move right on.
Any more discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
No.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Appointments.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get on my chest. He wants to look good when he give people raises and do this and do that, and we raise salaries on people, wants to look good on that. But when it comes down to paying it, you don't want to own up or be responsible for paying it, because that, you know, you can't have both. You can't do that and then cut back on this side. You got to take responsibility on both ends. That's what happened when we got to the 5 mil thing. We kicked that can down the road too far.
Well, that was because you didn't go up on taxes when they told you you needed to go up on taxes.
You know, that's because
Yeah.
we had commissioners who said we was against going up on taxes.
I've run successful businesses for 25 years. This is a lot more than I've dealt with, but it's the same
You
practice.
gotta understand.
You have to have the money coming in.
You
But you
understand.
gonna let me finish?
A business is not like running county, that's two different things.
Sure it is.
Let's move on.
You're providing a service.
All right, let's go. Guys, we need to move on to appointments.
Yes, sir.
Item A.
We got
And I run such a business for 18 years.
All right, consider approving resolution to amend the 2021 budget. I apologize.
Mr. Chairman, as I alluded to y'all in a month or two ago's meeting, you know, we're gonna be amended, and the clerk and I looked at revenue coming in, our expenses going out, and, you know, where we're gonna be at in the year. And this is the forecast, again, so the magistrate's gonna be a little bit over on healthcare claims. The sheriff's gonna be a little bit over, due to salaries and overtime and healthcare claims. You know, the jail the same way. EMS is medical supplies, and with the pandemic and the shortage of that, the cost of supplies going up. And then health insurance claims up there. Again, we just went through the COVID, and we had a lot of expenses associated. EMA, healthcare claims as well. Roads, gasoline, you know, pay roads, health insurance claims and equipment repairs, tip fees, bill repairs, defects, the air conditioning valve, and had to do some repairs there again, we budgeted again for this year. So we proposed 200,000 out of that, from contingency, and 207 from site improvements at the airport to balance that out. We will amend the budget again when we go through the end of the year. So you'll see something again probably in February. So again, this is what, you know, commitment to this board over there to continue to do the right thing and see the budgets every month. So with that, I'd ask you to amend the budget. And so no.
Okay, and I believe you'll find a list of these amendments
Yes, sir.
in the attachment, all laid out. All right, based on that, I will make a motion that we adopt a resolution to amend the fiscal year budget 2021.
One second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
All right, now, on to appointments. Our first appointment is the Coastal Area District Development Authority. Currently, we have Bill Keith and Randy Teston serving as our representatives. I'll make a motion that we continue to ask Mr. Keith and Mr. Teston to help serve on this.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion and second, any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Item D on the group committee, the Commissioner's African American appointment is currently Mr. Leroy Weatherspoon. His term expires 12/31/2021. Mr. Thomas, have you spoken on this?
Mr. Chairman, I spoke to Mr. Leroy Weatherspoon, and he said he's willing to continue to serve if the county permits.
Well, given that,
I recommend him to continue.
I'll second that. We have a motion and a second, any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires.
Yes. Item C on the Grievance Committee, the elected official female appointment is Sybil Lynn. His term expires 12/31/2021.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, and Ms. Sybil is not, if you're not going to serve. So, the elected officials have recommended and signed recommendation of Ms. Tracy Lindsay for your consideration.
Well, first of all, before I even go into the motion on that, I want to thank Ms. Sybil for the years she has served this county in that capacity and many of them. Thank you. Yes, sir. Given that, I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the elected officials to ask Ms. Tracy Lindsay to serve as our.
I second.
Motion, second, discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary.
Yes.
Item D, Heart of Georgia Regional Development Commission, our third-party member currently is Tyrone Johnson. His term is expiring 12/31/2021. Mr. Thomas, have you had any conversation with Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I talked to Mr. Johnson, and he's willing to continue to serve. He does an outstanding job. He attends all the meetings, so like I said, continue.
All right. We'll make, second. That motion? Second. Make a motion? Okay.
Yes.
I second it. Okay. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
No.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Item E, the Heart of Georgia Omaha Regional Development Commission, our county designee currently is James Thomas, who's, I think, acting chairman, if I'm not mistaken. I will make a motion that we continue to ask Mr. Thomas to serve as the county designee.
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Okay, our next item is item county administrator, Mr. Jeffers.
I think we've covered most of the items I had, Mr. Chairman. I did mention that we ran into a problem with the dump truck. It was supposed to be delivered in October, and a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Aspinwall sent notification that they canceled the order, the manufacturer did, because they can't get parts or whatever. So we regrouped, and we are looking at other alternatives that will bring that alternative and go forward with another solution for our dump truck needs. We had addressed the meeting in January, and I think we just talked about the audit. The audit did get approved, and, when I get copies of it, I will give it to you. So, I don't have any major issues anyway.
right. Commissioner Gregg, you want to go with items of commission? Commissioner Thomas?
No, I appreciate the board and I appreciate our administrator and also our attorney, Mr. Beaver, and our president Rob for us being able to secure that $700 grant from senior citizen building and also practice. So, move around on, looking forward to revitalizing that neighborhood down there. Moving forward.
All right. Sounds good. Robert?
I want to thank Mr. Johnson back here for all the hard work he's done getting people up, getting us 2 crews going. I know it's been a difficult situation, but I appreciate everything you've done, and just thank you a lot.
Yes, well, we couldn't have done it without the support of the board and Mr. Jeffers. We have hired 7 new full-time paramedics since June. I've got 6 part-time active paramedics and 10 part-time EMTs. So we got 2 fully staffed ALS trucks, 24/7, and a call crew. So we can put 6 people in 3 ambulances, staff the paramedics on the ground. We're a little over 4,700 calls this year so far. Pretty much on track, pretty much what we budgeted for. So things are going well.
Appreciate what y'all do.
Thank you, sir.
I'll do turn that, Mr. Roberts. Thank you. Thanks for that report. We had
Mr.
a,
Chairman, Mr. Beaver has the lease agreement and for the leisure and parks authority of J.C. Landing. It'll be on the agenda in January, but he'll send out a draft. We'll speak about it.
I'm gonna be sending out 2 things actually. The first one is the intergovernmental agreement between us and Mr. Jeffers says the River, Omaha River and Leisure Services Authority. It's not 2 pages long, it's about 8 or 10 pages long. The one thing we're missing to try to tie that one up and be able to finish it up is the second survey that's being done out there for the other part of the J.C. Landing.
It should be by the end of the year, by the meeting date of there. We're asking, there's not a plat of that property, that parcel down in the river, the actual land. So me and the attorney over there talked about it and just make sure we've got all the P's and Q's we want for that. So they're getting a survey right now.
So I'll email this to y'all probably later on tonight. If y'all take a look at it, just let me know prior to the next meeting of any changes that y'all want. Just kind of heads up, y'all, if I was sitting here for position, just, some of the things I would keep in mind is once we turn this over to, any limitations that we want to put on the authority's ability to construct new buildings or do anything, probably needs to be addressed in here. So when you read it, think about it like that, because again, we're gonna turn it over to a lease, turn it over to a lease, and then, we lose, unless it's in this agreement, we lose the ability to kind of control that area out there. I mean, they're kind of baby to run with it. So, like I said, just kind of read that line. Not so much, but to a certain extent. This one affects y'all. I'm also going to send y'all a copy along with. I'm also going to send that to the authority members. I'm going to send y'all also a copy of the concessionary agreement, and it does affect the county to some degree there. I would encourage y'all maybe to talk to your appointments on that authority and make sure y'all's mindset or thinking along the same lines there as to what's going on with the concessionary and what they're going to allow the concessionary to do. Thoughts on who they want to put down there. So it's there, just reach out to me if y'all want any changes in it prior to the first of next month. And like we said at the retreat, we should be pending a couple of little construction issues. We should be ready to rock and roll the first of the year.
Like I said in the work session, the trail looks like it's pretty much complete. Mr. Schumann and the contractor has a walkthrough next week. Modification, it looks very good. The county will be doing the standing of it, and we'll get that squared away. The pavilion up at the top and fits around the, tower, radio tower. It will be started this week, so we're moving to complete this as promised by the end of the year, so the first of the year, we can turn this all over. That's what Mr. Beaver has, you know, the two items that he had up there was the concessionaire agreement they asked for help on, and the lease agreement to live on.
I was gonna ask you about progress down there, it sounds good. Anything else for any of you guys?
The redistricting, are we gonna have that ready to approve?
Yes, sir, we are, there was some slight modifications, I sent y'all the email out of there, and we will meet with the Board of Education, just, Mr. Thomas and I think, and talk about one of the areas he had right there, doesn't affect District 2 or District 1.
I think we're gonna wind up needing really need to call a meeting for that resolution. So
It
we
will
can
be a
get that,
call meeting.
we can get that up.
before,
Resolution up to the state, we're gonna need to call a meeting so we can get on some legislation. I'll get, the administrator to reach out to y'all
Whatever that.
before we can do that, after the board and board representative. Thompson's here.
Yeah, they say December the 10th, is when they wanted it.
And Senator Tillery said, December 6th, actually, but he said he worked with the either way. We're there. That's all, they cannot, present the redistricting before, the January 10th session. So anytime before then, they've been communicating on what's going on, so they're pretty much in tune with it. All we got to do is modify a resolution by next week before the session begins, I think is appropriate. So the representatives and senator will be notified, ahead of time, this is coming, everybody's good with it. So I would suggest, if everything goes good sometime next week, maybe 11-ish in the day. I don't know what's convenient for you or
I think midday will be good, and this will be the only item on the agenda, so it should be a rather rapid meeting.
Y'all gonna send us,
Yes, sir.
All right, the next item on the agenda is executive session. I'm gonna make a motion that we retire to executive session to discuss property and personnel. Have a motion, second. Second.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner Prairie?
yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yep.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
No, I think you should pause it and then come back out.